Hello. Quick question. What do you think is the number one indicator of a healthy relationship? What what is the acid test of a good relationship? In my understanding, one of the most crucial signals of a good relationship is any one person's ability to say a no in that relationship every once in a while, be it at work, be it at home. If you cannot say a no in a relationship, then that's a very, very clear giveaway that that relationship is not in good health. The long term sustainability of that relationship, other things notwithstanding, is a big question mark. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is a very, very easy thing to postulate, to say, not such an easy thing to practice. And you're right, absolutely. Because saying a no and not affecting the health of a relationship in a negative way is one of the most difficult things to do anywhere, right? Given the fact that every time when we say yes, think about it, every time when we say a yes, do we mean a yes? Every time when we want to say a no, are we able to say a no? Right. So this is a complex affair. So today, what we want to focus on is a seven-step process that we've developed over the years, which we talk a fair bit in our workshops as well, which we recommend can be used to say no when you find yourself in a situation that is sticky, that's not very easy to get out of. So, what are these seven steps? We'll go through them one by one, and I'll maybe use an example to illustrate this point. So, step number one: when a set of demands are made of you, when somebody is asking you to do something, the first thing you want to be able to say is a yes, right? Not a yes because you agree to do it, but a yes because you have taken cognizance and you're sort of in line, in alignment with what is being said. So, if I take an example, I am a lousy person to serve in a restaurant because when I'm out in a restaurant, I ask for the most inane things. I have multiple restrictions. So let's take an example where if I'm in a restaurant and if I'm asking for something to be gluten free, for it to be vegan, for it to have mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, for it to have broccoli. So I'm asking for like a bunch of things, right? And I'm not even being all cogent about it. Now, when you say a yes, all you're really saying is that you've taken note of those things. So that's step number one. Step number two is to pause, right? Let that feeling sink in for you and for the other person. That's step number two. Step number three is to paraphrase what has been asked of you to the other person. So, in this case, the restaurant, if I'm asking that I want something that is non fried, that has to be gluten free, that has to be vegan, that needs to have mushrooms, that needs to have broccoli, what have you, the simple act of the person who's attending to me saying it back to me in a matter of factly way without any judgment, no matter how outrageous some of those demands may be, can sometimes land it upon me that I have pushed my luck in this case. Right. So you say yes, you pause, you paraphrase, and then the fourth step, you agree on things that you can do. So in this case, the attendant may say, "Sir, we can definitely give you something that is not fried, something that is vegan. Gluten-free may be a bit of a challenge, etc., etc." But we'll come to that in a bit. So, what are the things that you can give straight off the bat? That's step number 4. Step number 5, buy time. It can be a minute, sometimes it can be an hour, a day, a week, depending upon the context. Buying time is a very, very crucial, is extremely important because perception is reality. Right? It is not enough for you to know that this cannot be done, what is being asked of you. It's just as important for the other person to know that you've tried hard enough. So, in that case, in the same restaurant case, so can I check in the kitchen if you give me a couple of minutes? I may very well know that gluten free is not possible, but I still want to be able to check. I'll maybe go inside and do bhangra in the kitchen, doesn't matter. But when I buy that time, I am trying to communicate that I care about this and I'm trying my best to see if I can fulfill your requirement. So that's step number 5. Step number 6, for those things that you cannot do, give them reasons. So in this case, the attendant can tell me why it is that they do not have gluten-free food, because maybe it is not something that is in high demand in India, etc., etc. And then step number 7, which is generate alternatives. So you cannot give me something that is gluten-free. What is it that you can give me instead? If you cannot give me something that is sugar-free, what is it that you can do to to see that it fulfills some kind of ballpark requirement of mine, right? So that's 7 steps of saying a no with a yes, right? I'll repeat them for you. There's saying a yes, pausing, paraphrasing. If it's outrageous to you, you don't want to tell people that it is outrageous. You want to show them that it is outrageous, right? So paraphrase. Agree on what can be done. Buy time. Give them reasons why some of the things that have been asked for cannot be done. And 7, generate alternatives. That was episode 8 of this series on life and productivity hacks. This one took a little bit of time. I was out traveling. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon. Ta-da!